Okay, what's going on, guys? I wanted to go over a meta starter squad builder for you, but I also wanted to show you a tactic of how it works out. What effectively happens is this right back ends up playing as a centre mid, and you end up playing in a 3-3-4. But I'll show you that in a second. First of all, let's go through a team, and that person who's playing that role is probably one of the most important players. So you got to find a player that has that role, and the player that I've chose is Kadioglu. Now, this guy is actually a very, very good card. You know, when I looked at him initially, his cards are actually very good. He's got a good right back ability because he's got mainly the agility and balance for dribbling, so you can play in that midfield role. He's got the ability to go back and forward to sprint speed, and he's got decent defensive awareness with a rapid, first touch, quick step, and a jockey playstyle. So I think not only as a right back, you actually make that false back role. You can see he does have that false back role. That will be the player that will be making the midfield. Then we're going to go next to him. There's so many players we can go with. I've gone with Van de Ven. The reason why is, look, he's probably going to be a bit too pricey. You could probably go here with a Gomez. Gomez is another card that you could possibly use as well, because Gomez has that really good sprint speed. That is the key with a player like Gomez. He has that sprint speed. So although acceleration is a bit slow with a shadow, that kind of resolves that issue. But an element of just keeping it OP as possible, put Van de Ven in. Otherwise, if you are going to put Gomez instead of Van de Ven, you can go with Timber. Another very much underrated card, very simply because of the way his stats are. As I mentioned this in yesterday's video, 83 defense awareness, 78 sprint speed, and that top tier agility balance, and good physicality and passing with a jockey playstyle. It's hard to get these raw meta players. Only like maybe a handful of players that are really meta. And people are saying to me, oh, look, should I worry about the certain stats like, oh, how good is their short passing? Look, they're just going to be making a pass. Unless they're playing in midfield, they're going to be making a short range pass. If you have 75 plus, you're lucky. You're lucky. Otherwise, if you get like 65, it's not the end of the world for day one. You're not expected to get Virgil van Dijk on the first day. In for the goalkeeper, we've gone with Vicario. Now, there's a reason why I've chosen this goalkeeper in particular. It's because he has a footwork play style. And he's 6'4", quite a tall goalkeeper. And he has some pretty decent stats. He's got pretty decent diving, positioning, and very good reflexes and decent handling. So, I mean, he's not going to be the over expensive at the Martinez's, the Edisons, the Allisons. They were like 30, 40k. I suspect Edison to even be higher this year with his long ball style. But I also suspect maybe he's probably going to be around about 10k, probably even go down to about 7, 8k. Depends. I'm not too sure. We'll only know that when the day comes up, but there's other goalkeepers to choose. Then I've gone with Udogie. I think that's how you say his name. He's actually a very, very good card as well. Similar to Kadioglu, he's got quick step and the whip to cross. 89 sprint speed, defense awareness. I'd probably say maybe you can lean towards a sentinel, but I would still probably just suggest a shadow just to maximize that sprint speed. Again, when someone is going in behind and making that run in behind, my job is to try to catch up. Don't forget, when you're defending, most of the time your opponent will trigger the run, then make the through ball, and then you will react thereafter. So you're always going to be a step behind anyway. So even if you're up against someone who's got 98 sprint speed and you have 99, you're still going to be behind them because of the reaction time of the process of switching to your defender and then recovering. Now, I just realized here the formation is wrong. We're actually starting this in a 4-4-2 second variation, and we're going with one player that I remember came out last year, but I'm not too sure was actually inside the game. I remember seeing her. I hope she's in the game this year, but last year she was inside the game on the, or should I say the database, but not in the game. But what a fantastic card. She can play as a right back, a centre mid. She can even play, you can argue, that false back role. She could be the better player. But because she hasn't got the false back role per se, I didn't add her in. But she's got 87 sprint speed, 83 acceleration, 87, 89 agility and balance, 80 defense awareness, perfect for a centre mid, and she's got decent finishing. If she's that late runner inside the box with 70 finishing, she can get the job done. She probably lacks the long shots, but starter squad, you're not worrying too much. She is 5'5". That's the only downside with this midfield, but I honestly think the faster agility and balance players, especially early on, are more pivotal. But then you also have Kadioglu that also comes into midfield that has that, I suppose you can say, height. And then next, look, you can go with a Tonali. There's actually so many cards here that you can actually go with. But this is the card that I've gone with. Look, there's other centre mids. There's Bruno. There's actually a lot of Premier League centre mids as well that can get the job done. But I've gone with this. I always prefer to use 2 CDM holding players, especially when a game starts. If you lack those CDMs and you lack the ability to defend, CDMs in native positions are very good. Now, the only thing is, granted, they are short. If you have a problem with this, that's completely fine. You can go ahead and get, I think Dunn is a taller player, if I'm not mistaken. She's 5'7", if I'm not mistaken. But it's other Premier League players. But I'm going here with the National Women's Super League instead. But I think with a Shadow, she's such a good card. And she's got that shooting ability to go forward. 81 long pass, 84 short pass, and just behind the camera she has 85 vision as well. Another very, very good card. But to be honest, I said there's other cards you can go with instead. Let's say, for example, you're looking for, I'm just going to move this player here. Let's say you're looking for someone in the Premier League. Just to give you a bit of an example, Tonali is a very, very good card, but it will probably be a bit pricey if you're asking me. McAllister is not too bad of a card behind his hidden stats. And then there's a few other cards. And Caicedo will probably be the other key option that we'll go with. Caicedo is also a very good card. But I'm sticking with Rubinson. And on the right-hand side, we're going with Chiesa. Now, there's players like Rashford. I don't know how much Chiesa would be. Maybe it might be a lot because of his finishing. Could be even to the 100k plus. I hope he's not. Rapid, quick step. This is a very good card that you could use as a striker. Or you could probably even use him. As a winger, he's probably more utilized, I would say, as a striker, to be honest. He has the inside forward, though. That's the reason why I put him into the team. Because he does have the inside forward. So he can help on the right-hand side where you kind of have that, not an overload per se, but yeah, those players going in. Even the finisher, he can get the job done. To be honest, you can probably even go with a Hawk. But I'd probably maximize the sprint speed and the finishing if you're asking me personally. But if you really wanted, you could go for a Hawk for the entire balance. Then we're going to go with Oshoala. She was very OP last year. A fantastic card as well this year. Very, very, I would say one of those underrated cards that people just always push to the side. 4-star, 4-star, 5'7". Very, very good in the ball. Got the power shot, rapid, and quick step playstyles. The only thing that lets her down notably is unfortunately that composure. But for the beginning of the game with 90 finishing, you can get away with it because it would almost even itself out. Although the finishing stat has a more of a weighting. But she's got amazing stats. Good stamina. Good strength, good jumping. Stamina is the one that's a bit on the iffy side. And so is her aggression. But she's short, so I'm not going to expect you to be using that strength. But she's got that good passing and a good agility and balance. Then we're going to go up to another player. Just recently remembered as well, because some databases show her still in Liga F, but now she's in the in America now, and that's Women's Super League. But she's got a 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, 81 composure, 85 finishing. You put a hunter on her, and you actually got a very, very good top tier card. You can also play that left mid role as well, but I would probably putting her as an advanced forward up front, either with Chiesa or Oshoala. The only player I would say you can kind of get away with playing off is probably the left mid and right mid. Then we got Williams. So Williams is another card that I liked to use last year. She was in my starter team. She was fantastic. Another card that's very, very good. 5'8", good agility and balance. You can see here, I'm going for the real meta playstyle as well. Rapid, the quick steps. And of course she's got the finesse shot and the block, which is very interesting as well. Again, she's more of a pace abuser down the wing, good agility and balance. Given her height, she'll still be very explosive on the ball and be very agile. I'll still probably go towards a finisher this time, just to get her finishing to 94, get that shot power up, and get that agility balance up as well. So how does this all transpire into the game is the main question. So the idea is, this is a mock-up that I made on Photoshop. So you screenshots and made a little mock-up. So basically, the player that we're talking about is Kadioglu, right? So here we're playing as a false back. So what would effectively happen inside the game is you'd have these players that would be both on wingers. I put the one on the right-hand side on balanced, typically speaking, because Kadioglu is going to be going forward as a right back. So I kind of want that winger not to be always attacking, always up front. So what would basically happen is it would be something like this, and Kadioglu would drop like this, and a back three will split. Just similar to how you would see in real life. I mean, you just see, for example, a 2-3-5 or something of that nature, but in this case, you've got the two strikers, and if you want to, you can always put one of the midfielders on the attacking stance. They don't have to be holding. They could be a different one. They could be a different. You could do like a box-to-box or like a balanced style. It's up to you what you want to do. But this way I like it because you have 3 defenders. So at least you're not with 2 backs. You're not going to get counter-attacked. You have the 3 attackers in the midfield, you can argue, with Kadioglu coming in. And then you have the 4 attackers. So it's almost like what you know already. It's a 4-4-2 with an extra player in midfield. But that is just something a bit of a role. So a squad builder, make use of the roles, make use of the tactic system. I just want you to kind of get used to the tactic system, just understand and see what you can and can't do. That way, when you get the game, you're going to get a head start. I'm talking about head start. If you want to get a real head start, you can join my Patreon series, patreon.com/NeilGuys. Links down below in the description. If you don't get bet after 1 month, we'll refund your money. Here we talk about every single play style, roles. I always get that confused, roles, and their different focuses and how they influence each position inside the game. But that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, guys.